Carlos Nelson with Cascade Sports, and today we have the head girls coach of Raytown South, Mr. Guyden Bagsby. How you doing today, Guyden?
Doing well, sir. How are you doing?
We're doing all right. Tell our audience a little bit about yourself, as where you were raised, what schools you went to, and how you arrived there at the head coach position of the girls basketball team.
27 years old. Grew up Kansas City, South Kansas City, in the Hickman Middle School District. I ended up going to high school on the Kansas side, Blue Valley North. Big football guy. Yes, sir.
In high school, talk about that.
Football and track in high school. Once I got to the high school level, it was really I've always been a football guy, but football and track is what I ended up doing all throughout high school, and then into college as well at Abilene University. But as far as me getting into coaching, let's see, 3 years ago, matter of fact, 3.5 years ago, I was actually already working in the Raytown School District at West Ridge Elementary, and I was just looking for something new. And it's always been a goal of mine to be able to give back and to coach. For me, once I stopped playing, I was always looking for opportunities to still be a part of the game, still be a part of sports, and also to give back to youth, and essentially be a role model to the up and coming kids we have in today's society. So had a mutual interest from our former head coach, Coach Atkins. Our kids went to daycare together, and the opportunity came about. I got into the football staff, and this was 2019. And at the time, our offensive coordinator was the head girls basketball coach, and he asked me if I had any interest in joining his staff. So went ahead and did that. After 1 year, he stepped down, and I was elected to go into the head coach position, and here we are today.
All right. Let's talk about this upcoming season a little bit. And how do you see that folding out for your team? And talk about where you see bringing a new coaching style, and working with kids that are not in I'm at a loss for words. How you coach, what's important with you? How many seniors do you have?
Let's see. I believe we should have 3, possibly 4 seniors this year.
All right. That have come through your system. That's the word I had a brain lock. When you just like when you were playing sports, did you have a change in coaches?
Absolutely.
And the philosophies change and what have you. How do you feel you're going to deal with that this season?
Well, last year, and I told everybody in my circle, last year was probably the craziest year to be a first-year head coach with COVID and everything going on. Last year was a year we set the foundation. With me being so young and so lively, one of the benefits I have is being able to have that rapport with my players. To not be so far removed from high school. I mean, in May, I'll be 10 years out. So it's easy for me to be able to relate to them, to be able to understand the things they go through, and to also to come from where they come from. So just having those things line up for me, and to be able to have that common ground with them, it makes everything else easier, man. And just having, like I said, that trust and that rapport, it makes basketball and coaching a breeze, honestly.
So we talked off camera, and you said right now the girls were in the weight room, and
yes, sir.
they were getting their work in and what have you. I'd like for you to talk about again the adjustment. Do you think that the girls you have now are buying into your philosophy, for one, and for two, what kind of talent pool do you feel that you are getting your talent from? Are the kids playing sports the way they were playing sports when you were playing?
First part of that, the buy-in was phenomenal from first day last year. I let the girls know I actually stepped into the head coaching position July of 2020. So we had a couple opportunities to have some summer workouts last year. And the very first thing I told them, so y'all know my expectations. I'm a big competitor. I love to have fun, but we're here to compete. We're here to get better. We're here to put Ray South back where it needs to be. Because when I came up, the second part of your question, when I came up, Ray South was the cream of the crop. Everybody, including myself, wanted to be a Ray South in some way, fashion, or form. So they knew I was all about winning, but at the same time, I cared about their well-being. I cared about the development. I cared about making sure that they were getting everything they needed from me, the rest of my coaching staff, and outside of just basketball. So being able to have all those things, have that understanding from the jump, it was all business. And our motto last year was to be better than yesterday. Because my first year coaching, we were 2-20. 2-20 my first year. And I told them straight up, say, hey, we're not going to be a state championship team overnight. It doesn't come just because we have a new coach. It doesn't come just because it's a new year. I let them know we got to work for everything we want. And from day one, said, hey, each and every time we step on the floor, we got to go and get some more respect. Because before last year, other teams, especially teams in our conference, would look at us, well, there's Ray South. Well, let's get this practice game in and keep on getting ready for the next one.
Hey, Coach, you know what you sound like? You sound like the rapper. I done forgot his name. He said, put some respect on my name.
Birdman. But it's the honest truth. Because people would just look over us and we heard it last year as we got about halfway through the season. Hey, Coach, you know, this team is looking a whole lot different than it used to. These girls are looking a whole lot different than what we're used to. And that was our motive. That was our mission. Like, hey, let's go get better than what we were the last time we were together. If we could commit to that and could be consistent with that, there's no limits to the possibilities that we could take this program to.
I want to segue in because I talked to you about Coach Bud Lathrop off camera. Iconic Hall of Fame, most winning is high school coach in the area. And right. You're going through with Coach Lathrop. I told you how I met him, but Coach, in this first interview, he said when he took the head coaching job, they got beat so bad that, that when he went home and stuff, he said, this will never happen again.
Right.
And that's what, it was like hearing him talk, what you were just saying, and the team slowly but surely. And when you came to Raytown South, you said everybody wanted to be part of it, whether it was the football or whatever. You had good sports programs, you had good coaches, and you want to bring it back. Now, absolutely. As I said, your student body has a whole lot to do to me now that I've been doing this. What kind of athletes you actually can recruit that are willing to come out? Because in the urban core you got a lot of kids that should be out on the team. They walk in the hallways because they don't have good grades. And I'm bringing that in. Cascade Sports is home of the student athlete. How important is that in your program?
That's number one. My whole upbringing, my pops always told me, if grades ain't right, sports are not even an option. And it's the same way. I mean, we had a case last year. I want to say it was probably the week before we started our regular season. we had a couple girls that grades were slipping and getting close to being in jeopardy for the second semester. So did our grade checks, not singled out the girls, but we took out the girls that needed to work on their grades and get their assignments turned in. Hey, you won't be practicing today. I'll pull the bleachers out. You're going to sit there with your Chromebook. You're going to get on Google Classroom. You're going to get your stuff turned in, because I can't invest in you if you won't be available to your team. I can't put you on the floor if you ain't going to be here after December 31st. I can't do anything with you if you can't be here. And
I love
it's not fair. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to the coaching staff, and it's mostly not fair to the other girls that are on the floor, because we know basketball is a very cohesive sport. You got to have those 5 girls be on one accord, and then those extra 6, 7, 8 that come off the bench, you got to be on one accord if you want to be successful. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing we definitely instill in our athletes. And as we talk right now, my assistant is doing grade checks and getting ready for tryouts here in a couple of weeks. So
Coach,
that's the number one.
Do you think they're getting that now?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm segueing into a bunch of things right now, because you talked earlier about being from the community, understand your closeness. You're only 10 years removed from high school. All of these are positive things, and maintaining your relationship with and being on the same page as these young people. I have said and put this in quite a few interviews. People like, why you tell people this? When I was a star athlete and my first semester, I had an 0.7 grade point average, and nobody's laid it out per se like you just laid it out. What good was I to my team on a full scholarship and the season come up and I'm not even available?
Right.
But you laid it out a little more precisely. My teammates, I just wasn't disappointing but I came from a bad educational system. And that's why it's important for when we talk about student athletes to have good coaches like yourself to make our community understand. I thought people just were smart. I didn't know you had to
right. You got to put the work in.
Well, again,
like everything.
You don't know. It depends on the environment you come from.
That is very
Nobody
true.
in your house has graduated and everybody's out in the streets and this and that. You know what you know.
That's very true.
And coaching, and we're living in a sports society. Super Bowl, NBA, everything stops when those things, and that tells you what's going on. And so coaches can play a very important part, especially in the Black community, because sports has been a way out of our economic, social, and what have you.
A way of escape.
Yeah, where you can use that sport to get a scholarship. As we say, Cascade Sports is home to student athlete. That scholarship will get you a degree to put you in a position like you are now, where you can have a job, take care of your family, take care of yourself, possibly.
Right.
So with that being said, what you looking forward to this season? Let's get some predictions going. I know you don't have your total squad, but what kind of record are you looking to finish up with? Realistically, you want to win everything, but
right, absolutely. I want to win every single time I compete.
But you know what your talent is right now.
But I mean, number one goal is to be better than we were last year. Like I told the girls last summer, you know, we obviously want to win more than 2 games. And last year we were able to turn 2 wins into 10. So we ended up finishing the season 10-12, right under 500. This year, I just got through telling my staff last week, you know, our schedule looks favorable. And with the talent that we're returning, with the talent that we've been able to get back from
put
from
some names
school.
out there. Get some plugs. and what you looking for? Put them on Front Street. What you looking for from certain girls? Talk about that.
I mean, we've really been dependent really heavy on our guards, specifically Gianni Thompson. She'll be a junior this year, 2-year starter, 2-year letter winner. She was all district, all conference freshman and sophomore year. So she's a big pillar of our program for sure. Her twin sister Amory, also a 2-year letter winner. She was able to get all district, all conference last year as well. And then the wild card to that situation is Jacole Johnson. She transferred back from Blue Springs High School. She's a senior this year, so we're
what position she play?
She's a guard, and she's one thing that we've been lacking since I've been a part of this program was senior leadership, and just being her brother actually graduated from here, J.C. Johnson, I believe it was 2013, and just knowing her and knowing her brother, seeing her work ethic, seeing how talented of a player she is, she'll be a great part of the equation. We've already got this nucleus we've got built for the last couple of years. I think she'll be able to bring in that leadership and that experience, be able to take us to the next level and definitely get us to where we want to be in the postseason.
Who's playing down low for you?
That's what we've got to figure out. Alex Colblot, she's a junior this year. Unfortunately, she has a surgery a month from today. So we're not so sure of what type of availability we'll have for her.
What kind of height? Give me some measurements on some of them kids.
Alex is 6 feet, 6'1". She'll be a junior as well. She's been starting since her freshman year, so she's got great experience. But like I said, not so sure. We've got a freshman coming back, Adriana Moore, who was huge for us last year towards the latter part of the season. She was part of our JV team, was actually bumped up to varsity as we got close to the postseason, was able to contribute here and there. But she's been progressing tremendously in the offseason. She's been in the weight room. She's been in the offseason workout. So we look forward to seeing what she has to present once we get the trial started.
What kind of conference do you feel you got, and how tough is it?
Always tough. We've got Platte County. It's always a tough matchup. We've got Grandview. They won districts last year. They won our conference last year. Actually, matter of fact, Smithville won our conference last year, and they made a long run in the postseason. So we got those top dogs there that we've got to be able to compete with and eventually take them down if we want to go ahead and return to the top.
All right. Hey, Coach, it's been a pleasure with this interview. We really look forward to working with you during the season, and we look forward to working with you with our City of Fountain Coaches Association. I'm very excited about the new blood that you're bringing in to the system, and being a person of color, we don't have a whole lot when you look at the big picture in high school basketball here. And I think from what I know about you, you're doing an excellent job, and we're wishing you the best.
I appreciate it.
Do you have any closing comments that you would like to impart to players or your audience, your fan base, that you want to deliver to them?
It's a process, man. And our thing this year is to be 1% better every day. 1% better every day. We can commit to that. We can be consistent with that. We're going to build off where we left off last year. We're going to maximize our opportunity. As we know, with this whole pandemic situation, nothing's guaranteed. So we make it an emphasis to empty the tank each and every day, get better each and every day, have fun each and every day. Always, always, always to make the best impression on whoever it is that you're exposed to, whoever it is you come across, because you never know, man, especially in times like these. You never know who needs it. You never know who's depending on you, and you never know how far to go. So love people, take care of the people you got, run with it, and we're gonna see what happens this season.
One last thing. Old man keeps forgetting, should have had this in the interview. How important do you want to tell your body, the Raytown faithful? Is it important for them to show up for these games? How important do you consider having the administration behind your program? Then I wanted to ask you that earlier. Like I said, I forgot. Talk to the audience about how important those two things are.
The Raytown South faithful.
Right. Get me together.
It's huge, man. It's huge because, like I said, this is my third year, and one thing that I observed in my time here is the girls have always been in the shadow of the boys' success. Obviously with the boys program, especially in the last 6 years with Coach Im, who just departed from us this off season, they've had a tremendous season. I mean, they've had a tremendous program, tremendous success. Unfortunately, their title run was cut short with COVID. But the girls always say, why don't we get this type of attention? Why don't we get these people in our games? Why doesn't this matter? Why don't we matter? And last year we were able to show that the girls can be just as good as the boys. Last year was the first time that the girls had a better regular season record than the boys team did. So it's extremely important that we get student support. It's extremely important we get administrative support. It's extremely important that we get the community support. I mean, because at the end of the day, kids want to see the people they care about, the people they walk the halls with, see them be successful. So one thing I told them last year, I said, you know what, it really sucks that nobody's in school, when we're having this much success, because we had a 6-game, at some point, we had a 6-game winning streak. It's like, well, we can't even walk the hallways and brag about it. But it's huge, man. And not just for me, but for those girls and for the parents as well, because they invest their time and they sacrifice so much. They want to be able to see other people witness what they're doing.
Well, that's why we have Cascade Sports, because we can cover your games and they can see on the internet. But as we always say in our closing, when you invest in your community, you're really just investing in yourself. And let me tell you, for all you B-ballers, don't get it twisted, because Cascade Sports, we go hard in the paint, baby. And when I say we go hard, we go hard.
All the way.
This program is brought to you by the City of Fountains Coaches Association.